head, got pushed over, really badly assaulted. Ended up in hospital where he died his from time to time. By the stairs, by the elevator at the far end, by the rose garden, asks people if they're having a nice time. He gets really close and personal to people and then kind of vanishes. And then you can walk around the corner and you see a big portrait of the architect of the building and realise, yes, indeed, you've just met the very quirky, very outgoing, it's probably the nicest way to describe him, Francis Battenbury. When the building was originally built, it was commissioned by the Canadian Pacific Railway. They're the people that put the big railway line all the way through Canada, and they wanted to start having tourism go through, and the hotel was a great success. So much so they ended up expanding across this way as well in 1929. Now, people have come and gone through the Empress, it's had its highs and its lows, and in the mid-1970s a couple came up from America. They'd come here for Christmas, it was Christmas Eve. They checked in, and as they struggled away from the counter from checking in with their suitcases, a porter appeared. He introduced himself as Bill, helped them with their suitcases, took them up to their room, gave them advice as to where to visit in Victoria, the best places for sights, etc., and left. And just as he went to leave, the chap put his hand in his pocket and realised he only had American bills with him, and he had really large amounts on the table along with his newspaper. Miraculously, a pint appears, it never seems to vanish. Watch it.
The original doctor for the colony. He was a very, very busy man. He was the only doctor here, and he was very diligent. He was always out looking after people. Him and his wife married just before Christmas, and for them Christmas was a time of great celebration. Hamilton House is next to the museum. You see the house that's sat next to the museum, that's where he lived, and that house indeed is very important as well. Now Dr. Hamilton and his wife had children, and they had relatives come, and every Christmas was a really big deal for them. Big meals, big celebrations. Very sadly, his wife died of typhoid. Dr. Hamilton never really recovered. Now, we know that he goes up and down this alleyway. His office was where the Keg restaurant is now. I had somebody listen last year, and this is the neat part about these ghost stories. You start telling people about stuff, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, hang on a minute. And there was a chap walking with me last year, Anton his name was, and he told me about how he used to work at the Keg and how early one morning he was opening up, and a man with a suit was stood behind him, and when he spun around to say, hey, what do you want, you know, because he'd seen him kind of sneaking behind him, he realised he was actually there on his own. And I was like, it's probably Dr. Hamilton then, because we know he's still in his afterlife being busy looking for people to look after, to tell his tale. We do, diligently, because I don't know if I want to meet him or not. Nothing's happened to me, but it's up to you guys. If you want to try and find a ghost tonight, you can go under really slowly.
Let's do it.
You can go really quickly. I know what I'm doing. I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Are you looking for that?
Here, Anne. If you shut the door behind you, or just ask the last person to shut the door.